Hi, I'm back. I'm Jill, Copycat Crafts by Jill, and I think I'm going to start with a couple answering a question or two that I have had in the comments from part two. This is part three, so I just thought I would address the question, which the main question was, what stamp did I use? The stamp I used, I looked up and I bought it back in 2021, and I could not find it. I wanted to put a link so you could get it if you wanted it. I actually bought two of them. I've only used one, but I do use it hard, which is I didn't buy them at the same time. So when I seen it again, I quickly bought it. I believe I bought the first one on Amazon, and then the second one I got on eBay. The reason I wanted to show both of them is because this one I really have not opened, and I think because I haven't used it, you could probably see it a little better, but it also allows me to show you the information from the tag. Why is this stuck here? On the back. Now, I looked all over Amazon. I did find a couple that were close, but not this particular stamp. I can't believe they would not make it anymore, but let me get a paper to put behind this. So, can you see that? Sorry for the glare. And I can't really see if you can see that. This, it says TS40. That number I got off of the eBay listing that I bought this from. It said that this stamp was TS40. This one, I believe, was from Amazon. Those are the numbers. So if you would like to maybe take a screenshot and see if you can locate it, track one down. I don't normally shop on other websites. I normally go to Amazon, eBay, Etsy. Those are really my three go-to. But yes, you can see how hard I used this one. And so they're not huge, they're small, but I believe I paid under $7. It was like $3 for the stamp and then $3 to ship or something like that. I will continue to look, but you might have to get out there and do some research. If anyone finds this particular stamp or this design, please put it in the comments so I can share it. I want to make sure that anyone who wants this stamp can order one. And there's really no name on it, so that's all I have on that. I'm sure it says it's from China. So also on this particular one, I did use archival ink in ground espresso. So that's what I used there. And of course I worked ahead a little bit because no one wants to see me over ink. I still have a little stuff to do. I didn't want to jump ahead totally. I want to be able to walk you through it in case you want to do something similar. So there's so many different papers to choose from here that I just keep I just keep like not getting overwhelmed, but changing my mind really. I set it all up. I mark with numbers, and then as I go through my papers, I keep finding papers that I want to use or like, and I keep changing my mind or whatever. So you have to bear with me. I'm just sort of all over the place, but it's the reason I sort of pick my papers, number them, lay them out, cut them to fit, and ink them, hoping that once I ink them and get them numbered, I stop looking. Hopefully, I stop trading them out. So for this one, all I did was measure it and cut it out, and I rounded the corners and inked it. I did not glue it down yet, just because I didn't know. We did that on part 2, so I did not glue this down. What I will be putting here, which I also marked with the number 7 and the number 7, are 2 of the pockets that come with this kit. It's not a kit like it's designed for you. It's just a big large kit with pockets and ephemera and papers. Then you design your own design. I'm all about that. So I wanted to put that here, so I mark everything 7 so that I know. Wanted to glue that while we're all here. I'm going to move that out of the way because we'll get to that. What I ended up doing was, as I was looking through these papers, and I just want to pull them out again because they're really, really visually beautiful. So I want to pull some out, and these are the cutoffs from pages, because of course my page, most of them are wider, so if I cut one page to fit, I have the other half, which is fine. I will be using these, but they're actually a little too thin to cover another page, but I will be using these. As you see, some are on paper, which I double printed. Most are on a cardstock, which I did not double print, because those are the ones I really did plan to glue down. But they're really, really visually beautiful. See? And every time I go through them, I want to put a new one down. So hopefully this is one of my favorite. Well, I say that about most of them, but I just love that bird in the center of all these darker colors, and then that. I really like that. But anyway, looking through these, which I went and pulled them away, looking through these, it just reminded me, and maybe with the name as well, because it's called Red Velvet, it just reminded me of old-fashioned materials and fabrics. And I remember when I was actually pretty young and I went to a really small fabric store in Bethlehem, a little corner fabric store, and I was looking for fabric for a school project. I was supposed to make my own set of curtains, and I actually picked out a fabric that sort of looked like this to make curtains for my own bedroom. And anyway, it just brought back a lot of feelings about fabric and material. And so as I was going through it, I do have books that were from a fabric I don't know, designing store where you could go and pick fabric to have your furniture recovered, or curtains are made, or carpet, uh, bedspreads. They didn't sell fabric. They just sold, you know, to order, I guess, to order what the fabric you wanted. And a woman was advertising on Facebook Marketplace, and she was closing her shop, and she just had literally hundreds of these fabric books, wallpaper books, and my daughter-in-law took me, and we picked up a bunch. So I have a bunch. And as this kit was bringing back memories, I just went and got one of my books, and I cut material in these little swatches, and I couldn't cut my material with my little scissors. I don't even know where I got these. So my cuts are straight edge, and the cuts that were in the book are like that, but I couldn't do that on material. This, however, did work on paper and wallpaper, so that will come later. But I did think it just brought back memories of that, and I thought, what if I made this kind of like a fabric wallpaper designing folio that perhaps a saleswoman or person would show up at your house and open it up, and you get all kinds of swatches to look through, and there will be all kinds of tabs. I found these, and they are also from, each one is from the book. I cut them out, which is when I used one of my pair of these, and I cut them out, and I thought I could use these as kind of tags in here. So I just kind of went with that. So I guess that's kind of going to be the theme of this, is fabrics and wallpapers and that type of thing. So with that being said, I want to glue this in place. I can't fit much more in here. All I did here was I cut longer ones, and then to cut back a little bit on the bulk, I didn't keep making them all the same width. I kind of staggered them, and then I cut shorter ones. I tacked them with the tack glue all together so that they wouldn't keep falling apart. Then this piece here was part of the kit. It was actually off of this page. It was one of these, I don't know, bookmarks, or they almost look like the spine of a book, but it was one of them. So I cut that out, and I just glued it. Now, if I were to sew around all of these and put more sewing into it, I definitely would have sewed this. But because I'm not doing that, and the only reason I'm not doing that is because I already started it and I didn't do that. So we already have pages glued in that have not been sewn. And a lot of my subscribers perhaps don't want to sew, don't have a sewing machine, don't care to go through that. So if you want to sew yours, great, go for that, because that I think would be really cool. So I'm going to glue this one down first. Make sure I have the correct number, and I want to put it here. I just think those are so pretty. I picked kind of a plain one that has plainness in the center, because when I put this in and put tags in, there will be lots of color to look at, so I'm not really worried about that. Let me get my brayer and my glue. I should have filled my glue. did not. We will start the process. And I'm really enjoying these colors. I really enjoy, like, there's a lot of darker, richer colors and then pops of brighter colors. And I'm really enjoying that after so many of the darker, grungier pieces I do, even though we all know grunge is what speaks to me. Okay, now I'm just going to lightly lay that down because I want these to sort of be the same. And I know this one has to go about there. So I want this one to go about here. All right, that looks pretty good. And I've gotten so many kind remarks and comments, so thank you. Thank yous all for that. You know, all the kind comments really do help me anyway, and I'm sure a lot of people who are making videos. Really keeps us motivated, because sometimes it gets hard to work in life and all the things that we want to do and don't have time for, and when people are so kind and sweet, it really helps. Now with this, what I'm going to do, instead of gluing it all down at one time, I'm going to only put glue on here. And the reason for that is because I would like to put tape on the bottom. I'll explain that in a second. So that tags or whatever we put in here do not get... I'm just gonna decide where I want it, and I want it kind of low because I really do want room for this one and a tag to be put in. Now, this probably is not the easiest way, but it will make sense. I like to put a piece of tape across here, so that plain Scotch tape, so that as time goes on, it helps to keep a smooth movement and transition from plain paper down into the pocket, and you don't hit, your tag won't keep hitting that ledge. It doesn't have to go all the way over. Just doesn't have to, you just don't want it sticking out above the pocket, but you want it nice and slippery there. Want a good, and then when you glue that up and put your tag in, it's less likely to keep catching on that lip. And even if it does, it's not going to eventually fray that tiny little lip where your paper ends up starting to fray and fall apart. We don't want that. So I think what I want to do here, I'm just going to nip these little edges off. Just because no one's going to see them, and I really don't want to add more bulk into the corners. Just going to put the glue on these. Oh, I got a little string going across of glue. It's the only thing, once my glue starts getting thick, leaves strings. Okay, fold that up and put it down. I don't know if this is going to be small enough. Yep, just wanted to and I want to do the same thing with this one. I want to put it on bottom first. I want to bring it down low enough so that we can at least put a little tag in there. All right. Now the other thing you can do is make this little tab less wide. You can trim that down if you want. But, all right, just want to pull it up and get it about where I want it. Then we'll worry about the straightness. Looks pretty even to me. I probably should. I didn't erase the last number. I probably should. So let me find my pencil with my eraser, which for me is kind of hard. All right. Again, I think I'm just gonna nip that off. Same with this, so they don't curl. All right, we're gonna get the tape. What do I do with it? Put that on. Put it right into that. Make sure it's got good contact, and we will put the glue on. Okay, fold them in and fold it up. Okay. And there we go. Then this one gets put here, making sure the writing is correct. So it will go like that. Just want to add a little bit of inking. I did have probably 3 or 4 different ones pulled out for here, and all of them would be great. This one is one that I actually had pulled out for here, so I can use that. Or I had quite a few. I mean, basically all these I had pulled at one point, but I just thought this one could be slightly plain, because then we can finish that and put that. But I wonder, oh no, that one goes to that. Let me just see. Yes, that was my final choice, because those two go together. So that was my final choice. Let me just get my ink. So I ended up cutting so many, and I was thinking of putting something probably a little more colorful, but then I thought, well, that certainly has an awful lot of color, so there will not be color lackage. And I still have to finish this. I just wanted to finish it on video. I don't want to waste everyone's time too much, so I try to do, you know, pretty much ahead of time, but I also don't want to do so much ahead of time that that then you feel like I just skipped ahead on everyone, and now no one knows what to do. So try to keep a balance. I may go overboard because sometimes once I get in the crafting zone and I'm sitting here and I'm cutting and inking, and next thing you know I'm gluing, and then I'm like, oh dear, I was supposed to save that for a video, not. So please be kind. I get in the zone and just start. And it's kind of usually the same time when I'm in here and, you know, I get company or my husband comes in, are we gonna eat? And it's like, well, what time is it? And I realize I've been in here 4.5 hours. It's like, what? Where did that time go? Okay. Okay. Oh, yep. Feel it. Let's see this end over here. Oh, yes, I do. I'll probably need my little glue eraser, maybe. Oh, there it is. Right there. Okay. I think once I get glue all over my fingers. Okay. Now I can finish this. And I really was just going to glue that down like that. But before I do, I wanted to put a I wasn't sure what one. I thought the green would look okay because there's a lot of green in the material, in the fabric. And before I do that, I can maybe put a rub-on. Maybe I'm going to put Agent, just, I think it's a designing agent. We're going to make it very important. Okay, agent. What's the agent? Well, it doesn't have to make sense. It just has to look good. Agent, we need a number. Actually, I like that, and that would probably fit better. SQ8. I kind of like that. Let's use that. Let's see how that looks. I love the rub-ons. These are Tim Holtz rub-ons. I don't know if this particular set, I know they still sell them. I just don't know if they're being, if they're ending discontinued, coming out with the newer stuff, but but I love these. Whoop. Yes. Centered and straight is not my middle name. Okay. Now, whenever I use the rub-ons, I always just go over the top. Just do. Okay, I think we're going to do that. So let's put some glue on there. Okay, and it doesn't have to be centered because I say so. We're just eyeballing it. Okay, I think that's good enough. And now I can glue it. Oh my goodness. That's how I get so much glue all over my fingers. Okay. I'm just going to glue this down because we're not going to be opening this. We're not going to be using these pieces of fabric. So just, okay. Then I figured I would just glue the top and glue the top down like that, just the top, so that these can flap. That was my plan, but I just want to give that a little moment. Then in the center is where we're going to have more room, let's say, to I like maybe put in some fun maybe envelopes or flappy, you know, more fun things, but because we'll have a little bit more room to play with that. Okay, let's see. All right, so we have our pockets and we have our material. Then this side is what I had this for. Then I wanted a nice long pocket, and then I thought it was a shame to cover the pretty blue, and so then I thought a piece of vellum. So I just cut this out. It was really all I had to do is cut here because they're pretty much all the same size this way. So I cut it here. Then I flipped it over and I measured a 1/2 inch up and a 1/2 inch in. And then I just drew a big square. I left the lines on there, the pencil lines, because when I cut with a straight edge and my ruler, I just used this and my Tim Holtz ruler with the metal edge, and I cut that out. If I keep the lines extended, I can get a better view or feel for where the point is, as long as I overextend those lines. Then I started erasing them, but Then I used double-sided tape. So I put the double-sided tape as close to the cut edge on all 4 sides. So before we mess around too much with that, let's get this glued down so I can finish making a mess of that. Then, well, a mess of my fingers with that. Okay, 9, 9. Then we'll glue the vellum, stick the vellum down. Have to try and get the glue off my hands a little bit better before I mess around too much. Okay, wanted to make sure that, and again, I just wanted it to, how does it look up there? Oh, yeah, okay. Pull it over just a hair and a hair. Okay, I'm happy with that. And again, making sure we got good contact. This. Work any of those blobs to the very end. Looks like I might need little glue. Okay. Then while that is setting, we will put the vellum on. I already inked around it, so that's already done. What am I doing? I need this. Oh. Otherwise we'd be here all day. Telling you, I watch women who they are skilled at getting this white paper off. I tell you. Because I kind of wrestle with it a little. Okay. Now let's see if I can get this down without getting it loaded with glue. Okay, I think that's about pretty good. And again, I will put a piece of tape there. This one will be a longer one, so we'll pull it away. I don't want the tape to go down into the window. I just want it to cover that way. Again, we won't have, and I'm going to do a little there and a little there because I don't want the tape sticks out a little. Don't want to catch on that. So those just need a slight little piece. But I don't want to put the tape right up to the edge. I want to leave glue room. I want to leave room around here for the glue. So don't know how I got a bubble there, but okay. I'm gonna put this here and this here. Like that. All right, so let's get the glue. See my stringy glue. Okay. Let's see if I can get it down without too much moving around. Just a hair. There it is, glued on. Okay. There we have it. Let's just, I don't know if that's small enough to actually fit in there, but just to show you. Oh, I had two. I had two. Yep. Fits perfect. Okay. All right, that are 3 pages. Yep. I'm not sure what I'm doing on this page yet. I just wanted to get these 3. Then, same with this, not sure, but we're going to do these 3 in our next video. So, and I've already kind of started. As you can see, I already have them numbered. Oh, well, that's because I know what's going here. Okay, so anyway, again, I'm hoping to do slightly shorter videos so that it's not too cumbersome. And I hope that's a little bit more comfortable for the watchers, especially if they're going to work along. And I think we're done. Okay. Again, good luck with the stamps. I'm not giving up. I'm going to continue to look. As I said, I found a couple that are close. I will link them so you can have a look at them, but I'm still going to keep looking. So don't settle. Let's see if we can really find the one you want. With that, stay creative and hugs.